everybody. We're back at 6R Motorsport, and Chaj has been rocking on this for a couple of days now. And last time you saw, the engine was kind of in the car, but it was missing a lot of pieces. And now he's got this all fabbed up. The tunnel has been raised. You can tell like how much he raised it. He kept the actual OEM piece that was the original tunnel, but instead of it sitting right here, he moved everything up about 2 inches. And here, insert all the clips of him doing all the welding. Obviously, it's really hard to weld one of these things for how, for lack of a better term, how shitty material Toyota used for like the actual chassis and like how thin everything was. So it's really easy to go through these, but he did a pretty fantastic job, I think. And we're still gonna clean this up. It's not the final version just yet. This is kind of where the old tunnel was, and now the new one is up here.
Just watch your hands on the release.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, yeah, that's, you know, it's about 2 inches taller. So, because yeah, we wanted to not use a subframe spacer that would have moved the engine bay up. So now everything has to move out of the way in order to create our safe little haven for my K24 and the S2000 6-speed. There's not a lot left on the car, right? But a lot of this, even that's still here, is gonna get changed. So the caster rod brackets that you see, the tension rod brackets, this is all gonna get replaced. 2 reasons. One, they're kind of flimsy. This is part of where your suspension arm is supposed to bolt onto. And even though, yeah, it's triangulated by the chassis and all that, I don't quite, I think we can do better than this. So we got something else ordered, it's on the way. Also, second reason, because the OEM design, you can take a look right here, to change the sway bar, you literally have to take both sides of the brackets out and fish the sway bar out of this little hole. That's the only way to change the sway bar, and I think that's kind of dumb. So we're gonna get one where it's just easy to slide in and out of, and that's on the way. Whenever it shows up, we'll get that done. Sway bar we're gonna keep standard for now. When I say standard, it's, I think the car came with a Cusco bar, so we're gonna just reuse this one for now. I don't know if we have a better option later down the line. Entire rear suspension setup. The brakes are gonna still get changed, the damper's gonna get changed. Some pieces are staying because this car, came with some very fancy goodie. Look, we got Swift springs in the back. I think there's a Techno Toy kit as a standard. There's a lot of Techno Toy kit like parts you can find. You can find the panhard bar, the lateral rear link. We already put in the Ecolink 4-link at the top, but the bottom is still the original, kind of the older style in the red color that Techno Toy used to have. We're gonna add a lateral drop mount later. We're gonna add a bunch of stuff to this later, so this all is gonna get changed. I'm keeping this, the rear traction bracket, since it already comes with the car. Like, it actually moves the basically where it's supposed to bolt onto the car, like this geometry point a little bit lower down. And I don't know my geometry, especially on like stick suspensions as well as I should, but I think it helps geometry, and we'll play with that down the line. But I'm just like, I'm glad that this is kind of coming together. I want to show you some of the work that Chach did on the engine side, because I think it was freaking amazing. Here's a subframe, front subframe of the car. When I say subframe, there's only one subframe on an AE86. That's the funny part you have to realize. There's only one, because the rear is the entire axle. There's no subframe. In order to move the engine kind of like 2 inches back, what Chach did, and honestly quite epic, he just cut the brackets off of the subframe and shifted everything back 2 inches to the basically rear edge here. So this whole thing, this whole bracket here, used to sit up to this edge. Instead, it's now sitting to the back edge, and that's giving us the 2 inches we need, to move the engine back. And as everybody knows, 2 inches really matters. Josh likes that joke. So the only thing we're keeping on this entire setup is we're keeping the strap for the front, for the steering rack. The lower control arm is getting changed. The knuckles getting changed. Steering knuckles getting changed. The outer tie rod, inner tie rod, the entire steering rack is getting changed. Probably the bushings too. Everything's getting changed. But the subframe, the way it's been done, is just it's awesome to not have to touch the engine side mounts, which we'll show you later on. Chach has already started doing a bunch of things to convert the engine to basically what we're looking for, right? So this used to be this is now an AN fitting, like it's dash 16. 16. It used to be a more regular kind of radiator hose. 1 1/4. More used to be like that. This is screw in, screw on, so we'll probably like change this one out later. He's already done the whole cut and re-weld on this thing that it looks like freaking nice. The bunks back here has been done. You can see the JSP mounts are still being retained. But if we bolt the engine in 2 inches back, the OEM engine mounts will be sitting right here. But because Chach moved it on the subframe, it would now actually line up perfectly. So that's really cool. But then you have the issue of the transmission. The transmission mount wouldn't fit properly. So Chach went to work on that one too. This is pretty crazy. This used to be at the bottom here, so that's no longer there. Instead, it's mounted kind of on the like an L bracket that's been welded onto your standard JSP mount, and the bottom has been sealed shut. And this still kind of mounts back onto the original chassis as it should, and this just mounts onto the trans. And that's shifted us back into 2 inches and also raised up 2 inches to give us the kind of geometry we wanted. This is just like crazy to me. This is like next level. We get to fit all of this in like the exact way we want to fit it to, as while retaining as much of the nicest parts we can get. You know, the JSP mounts are freaking full CNC, and I really love to be able to reuse these. Are we putting the engine in soon?
Yeah, once all the final welding and finishing of the tunnel is done, it'll drop right back in, and it should be in there for good. That's how I finalize all the cooling and stuff.
So soon, it'll be in. And then we can start it, right?
No, not yet.
Oh yeah, we only have fueling, wiring, electrics, exhaust, cooling, everything else to do.
So by the time this is bolted back, we'll only be SEMA ready.
Yeah, it'll be, no, SEMA, you probably want brake calipers. We don't even have that.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah. We're missing a lot.
We'll get to it.
But we're working on it, and it's freaking cool. All right, we'll let Josh get back to work, but look at, I'm so hyped. Good morning, Josh. I come bearing presents.
Yay.
Look at how nice everything fits.
I know, like look at this.
Holy crap. Wow. Clearance is like beautiful.
Oh no, you see how the header's coming along?
Header? Oh, I gotta see. Oh yeah, you oh shit, alright. So you cut this right here, and then did was this the V-band?
V-band.
You V-banded this shit?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Cut does not.
Man, race cars, you gotta take stuff apart, put it back together. You don't wanna mess around with gaskets and 2-bolt flanges.
Fair. Wow. Holy crap.
Look how nice this fits around everything.
I know.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know what's crazy? It's almost like we could drop the engine. If the oil pan didn't sit like here, this place can drop a little bit further down, no? But then if we drop that, the trans is gonna go down.
The rack.
Yeah.
Oh, the rack.
Remember the steering
never
rack.
mind, I forgot the
On the
steering
good
rack.
note is, you can do your steering rack without having to lift your engine.
Oh yeah, really? So it just,
slide it in.
Yeah.
oh cool.
So like, yeah,
Sweet.
look, this is bolted factory. Like I said, I did a OE temporary bolt for now just to get it
Thank
together.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is so beautiful. Like this right here.
I got this somewhat figured out already up to this point.
Yeah.
Like so.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that's tight.
Yeah. It tucks up like, it's a little bit lower than the frame rail. Not really, probably even with the frame rail.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
But if we had to clearance this a bit, you know, or
That's fine.
get rid of that undercoating so nothing. And then, like I said, this will come out to this pocket here,
Yeah.
resonator, and the plan we had going that way.
Yeah. Side pipes. So this still probably needs a little bit more clearance here.
Yeah, for
Because the output flange is currently still above the rest of the firewall.
Yeah, no, like I said, I do this section at a time.
Yeah.
You don't want to like hog out a big piece out of the car.
Do you think the handbrake, we gotta like remount that piece too, right?
Yeah, like once it probably won't be all of it. It'll probably be the lowest point of the tunnel. We'll just get raised a hair just to clear the dry shaft.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you notice, it kind of goes down.
Yeah, it does go up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe just somewhat of just a small section.
Okay.
That'll go up together.
Sweet.
And then we'll have dry shaft clearance.
Sweet. Man, this thing fits nice. Wow.
Yeah, I'll bring it down so you can see some of the stuff up here.
Oh, you added the spacer too. Nice.
Yeah, because I didn't like how the shifter,
Yeah.
the transmission was leaning.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Man, the radiator's already semi-in. Yeah. It's tiny fans, but spins very quickly.
Yeah, and they're shrouded, so they're efficient.
Sweet. Oh wait, so like if they're shrouded, we just need to make the tunnels out of the 2 fans. If we want to make a duct, right? We don't have to do the hole from the bottom of the radiator. We just like here up.
Actually, I'm not too sure about this whole shrouded thing.
You think shroud is actually hurting it?
At speed, this might be a restriction.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
So if that's the case,
Can we take out the shroud? Shroud is a bolt-on, right?
shroud is
Oh no, shroud is welded on.
Shroud is part of the radiator.
holy shit. Okay.
Okay, well,
It's a design now.
all right, okay, yeah, that's fine then. Yeah, I see your point. It might be a restriction, but like,
But it's a lot of radiator for this model too.
yeah, it'll be fine.
That'll be fine.
Man,
Yeah, so I added a O2 bung up here so you can put your wideband in
yeah,
there.
perfect.
And I started mocking this stuff up.
Yeah.
That's all installed there.
Already?
Yeah, that's all locked in.
Nice.
You could check out the interior. I refinished all the pedals because they were crusty. Now they're nice and black.
Wow.
Look at your pedals, and they look fresh.
Oh, now I can just buy a new the rubber pad, right?
Yeah, new pads, maybe some of the clevis pins they're called. I started like spraying in here, and that's all seam sealed in there.
Yeah, wow.
It's all sealed up to this point, so move on from there.
That's sweet. All right, we're back at 6-star. Chach has been working like crazy on this car, and it's really showing. So first off, he's starting to put chassis harness and all the things in already, which is ridiculous. The GTX2 lower control arm from Techno Toy is in. Here's the interesting bit. We were trying to fit the GTX2 from Techno Toy, which is designed actually with the original caster bushing bracket in mind. But I really wanted to use something like this, the Cusco one, because the Cusco actually gets rid of the entire mount. Also, look, for now, if I want to drop my sway bar, I don't have to take the entire thing out. This Cusco piece comes with this arm, which is really long, and it's supposed to meet the original kind of control arm because it has 2 tabs at the end instead of a ball joint mount. So what Chach did is very smartly, thank you for the prop, cut off the end of that arm, which is steel, and then added spacers so it mounts up just like the original. And we still have all the caster adjustability with this arm, and it's spherical, and it's got the stronger mount, and it mounts up with this. It's genius, and it's fantastic because, well, you know, in the event of an accident, if I break anything, usually it's probably the rod end that breaks, or maybe, you know, something else. We don't really need to replace the steel piece, and even if we do bend it somehow or break it, it's steel, so we can weld it up fairly easily. So, and all the clearance, just like, oh yeah, it's perfect. We're waiting on the steering rack to arrive, so unfortunately, FedEx messed up, so that's the one part we didn't get. Otherwise, everything in the front would be here. We'd be able to slap the knuckle on, the wheel on, brakes on, everything. Chach has a hand on our mint, uncracked AE86 dash that we're going to be what's the right word?
Butchering?
Butchering. I like that word. Because yeah, we're gonna cut this up to fit the chassis and the cage. People are gonna hate us, Chach.
We're just gonna custom fit it a bit.
Yeah.
We gotta clear the cage, so
Yeah.
probably gonna take some love out of that right there.
Yeah.
And some out of this side over here. But
Yeah.
other than that, it'll go with the whole scheme of the interior that's coming up, so it's gonna be all blacked out inside.
Yes. Speaking of interior pieces, we have stuff such as this. This is the door card, the ultralight door card from Techno Toy. Slips on over, and then you bolt it in, and you have the door handles over there, and it still clears the stock. Then the door opener. Super flimsy, super light, but once it's in the car, I tried, it kind of clears the cage, as you can tell. It left a little bit of a paint mark, but it doesn't matter. Once this is done, the size of the car is going to look, you know, like the wrinkle black with the dash and everything. It's going to look nice. The bottoms of the chassis is going to be white. Again, evoking the black and white look of the original Panda. Chach is already, as you can see, working on the wiring, and that's going to be awesome when that's done. This is the plug for the tail light, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a donor chassis harness, so I just found someone new connector for
I tossed the old donor chassis harness. Sorry. We'll be using the Haltech IC7 to connect and talk to the Elite 1500, which already has a tune loaded up for this car, for this engine. I set this dash up back in the day to look like an LFA, so I'm really excited to see it boot up again. Like,
Wait, what?
yeah, literally white radio with like red with a red counter. It's white, and then when you get to the like the shift light, it goes red. It flashes just like the LFA.
Well, I can tell you already that
Yeah.
the dash itself is not really LFA quality because
No.
it's crooked.
We'll fix that. We'll fix that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's a lot more suspension pieces coming. Obviously, we mentioned the steering rack, the ultimate steering rack from Techno Toy, isn't here yet. Somehow FedEx lost it, but they're on the way, and hopefully we get it. Before that, we have a lot of other things to talk about. The Techno Toy sway bar drop mount, which is going to help us when we drop the chassis to not hit the sway bar on the actual diff housing. This is the steering knuckle along with the tie rod ends at here. This is I like this because they have to move your skyline.
Oh, that's okay.
You can adjust the Ackerman setting by moving these pivot points around, and actually the same setup will fit by rotating it to the outside, will fit a Mark 1 Supra as well. So that's kind of cool. We have the lateral rod drop mount. This changes the geometry of how the panhard bar mounts. Instead of mounting it to this point, you know, this is kind of like this is fully extended. But once it's set up, it might look a little bit like further up. Well, this goes 2 pieces, one on the outside, one on the inside. And it'll move we can move the pickup points to how this panhard bar mounts onto the axle to 1, 2, 3. There are multiple positions for us to choose from. So super neat. I was just talking to Alan, look at it. We're gonna have like every single pickup point on the car is new. We have the new sway bar points, we have the new lateral drop mounts, we have these traction brackets which already move the pickup points down. The chassis side for the upper arms already is extended into the chassis, which means when you think about it, there's almost nothing in terms of an original axle mounting point going on. We have these, which are the pillowable mounts for the rear sway bar that goes onto the chassis. Gets rid of those crusty fuckers. I mean, at this point, this isn't doing a lot of sway barring anymore. Like any more of this, and this is gonna pull out. So this is going to mount right here and get rid of that whole contraption. And we'll have the adjustable sway bar end links to be able to, like, if we want to tighten, we want to go different position, go with a different lock, different tightness, we can change all of that really easily at the track. So this is the heel plate that Techno Toy makes for the A86 for the driver's side. And basically we're gonna probably make it bolt into the chassis, and that's where my foot will lie. We'll put grip tape all over it. So in the rain, in the wet, you know, you're racing, the last thing as a racing driver you'll want is for your foot to slip away from the chassis. And so nice that they make a piece like this. And I like that they marked everything they make for the A86 with, of course, the holy 4 letters. That's it. That's a lot of parts we received in this shipment. Thank you to my friends at Battle Garage for hooking us up with all of these. They sent out some kooky turn signal lights for the bumper. That's coming. I even have the light bulbs. I have the light bulbs for the main headlight too.
Okay.
Not that we actually have the main headlight currently working, but we'll work on that bit. That's what he's working on.
This harness is awesome. Pre-wired for everything. You just gotta terminate it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Signals too.
Really?
And backup lights.
So
Yeah, you're all wired.
Oh shit! All right. Okay.
It'll be a race car that's gonna work like a street car still.
Aw. Thank you, Josh. One of the challenges we haven't dealt with, or we refuse to deal with so far, is the headlight, which, because we had to fit the radiator and we wanted to tuck it real nice inside the kind of the radiator support, it interfered with where the motor of the headlight used to sit. So now our headlight, it just does that. We're gonna design something probably and just be able to prop this open, pin it, and then it'll stay open, and then have this closed and then pin it again. So I'll have manually adjustable pop-up headlights. They told me 2 weeks. They told me in 2 weeks, this thing should fire up. Like, we don't have the diff housing back yet, so we can't really put a drive shaft in it, and can't get the axles back in, and maybe the rear brakes and whatever. But like 2 weeks, and it might start.
How much is this project going to
Well, I don't know. We don't
bankrupt
talk
the company?
No. This is coming out of my personal pocket, which is probably a bigger regret than bankrupting the company. Yeah, but look, honestly speaking, whatever's left in the PhD bank account won't be able to pay for this.
We're building it how you always wanted.
Yeah,
Built.
this is not anybody else's vision at this point. This is like mine and mine alone. Like, I want to build the stupidest car I could, and we're like maybe 2 weeks away from. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, there's my Skyline in the back. Hi, Skyline.
Well, the surge tank is already in. The fuel cell surge tank. Chach is working on, 1, the wiring and all that. 2, probably the filler solution that we talked about last time. That's going to go into the rear quarter window, mount up right around here, and build a bracket, kind of tie into the Lexan window. Engine wiring harness has started going in already. We have these sensors here that's kind of going in. If we want, like, we can flip this plate around.
Yeah.
So this sits at the bottom. Yeah. And we'll have, I just don't know, like, if we want to run cooling ports and stuff like this way. You know what I mean?
Those are just vacuum ports. We only need one for the regulator.
Okay.
It depends where you want your intake.
No, where do we
air
want an
intake.
I didn't think this far yet.
But
So-
aren't we supposed to put an oil cooler here with a fan on it?
That's idiotic. Why would you put an oil cooler inside the engine bay where it's like hot as fuck? That sounds stupid, man. Nobody does that. Speaking of, we probably should get an oil cooler of some sort though.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like the last iteration of this car never really saw like track duty. So I'll probably run something. I don't know. We could do like a similar to OEM setup Just build
Yeah.
a bracket right around there.
So when it comes down to the very end, we'll figure out what do you want to do about your intake, like your air intake.
Okay.
Like how long of a pipe, where you want the filter, stuff like that.
Sure. Well, look, can we even make it down here? Well, we've got to cut a hole, right?
All right, there's a special tool that makes stuff like that happen. This one here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you sure you're like
I'm
he's
not.
allowed to?
That's why it's not connected.
Oh, good.
That's why it's not connected. But thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that,
you.
that that'll make that happen.
Yeah, cool. All right. I like Chacha's fabrication corner. It's nice. It's like that meme. Yeah, it's coming. It's all coming together. Like this is literally it. It's before our very eyes, and it's taking shape, and it's kind of crazy. So,
Those brackets look so good.
dude, like seriously.
Look so good.
Yeah, like I'm loving how this engine bay looks. Look, the subframe is brand new. Like looks brand new. Looks brand new. My sway bar looks painted over, which it is. Otherwise, it would match a Cusco blue. We have the bling bling headers and the bling bling intake manifold. We'll probably get a bling bling one of these later on.
Yeah, you got all the nice brand new stuff over there. The brand new
Yeah.
clutch and brake masters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This like, I don't think is there like there isn't really much old stuff we're putting back in at all.
No.
Everything we're putting in is like fresh, mint and new, which explain the hit on my bank account. It's quite significant.
So
Holy fuck.
everything you can physically detach from this chassis
Is new. Yeah.
So essentially, after this build is done,
Yeah.
you basically flew back in time and bought a brand new car, except it's a race car, pretty much.
No, we built one better than the original.
Well, yeah,
car.
that's kind of what I meant.
I think this is better than the original 86 because we fixed everything about the rear suspension geometry. We did everything on the front. This is obviously not even close to being an upgrade from the original 4A. I love the 4A. I still have the 20 valve, but this is, you can't argue with the K24. We did the chassis fabrication up. We'd have the cage.
So is this thing technically lighter than the stock motor since it's all aluminum?
It might be. I mean, we should measure it. Like we should weigh it at the end. Like when everything's all done and dusted, fueled, suspension in, wheels on, tires on, like driver's seat, everything. We should weigh it.
Where versus your stock car?
Yeah. The way it versus my stock car.